Hey y'all, I'm Corey Ames. I'm a naturalist, writer, and storyteller based in San Antonio, Texas. And in this video, I want to walk you through a quick way to identify what plants are native to your area, whether you're in Texas or not. So we're gonna go ahead and jump behind the computer to get started. So the tool we're going to be using here is the Ecosystem Dynamics Interpretive Tool, or EDIT for short, which has been provided for free for anyone to use from the USDA and a New Mexico State University. I'll give credit where credit is due. I learned about this tool through my native plant landscaping certification through the Native Plant Society of Texas. And so I thought this was just really interesting. It was maybe the most direct path to get a very comprehensive understanding of your own property, what kind of ecology you are sitting on, so that you can start to better make decisions about what plants you select and for what reasons for your own landscape. So this may seem dense on its face, and that is a little bit because it is, but I will say, after buying countless books over the last couple of years on native plants in Texas, while all very helpful, this really cuts through with great specificity to get an intimate understanding of your own ecology on your property right away. What we want to do here from the home page with Edit is coming to the Ecological Site Descriptions catalog. What you'll come to next is this MLRA map. Okay, after that, we're going to jump into Google Maps, pick a landmark to use as an example and show you how to get the greatest specificity. So Google Maps, we're going to use Woodlawn Lake Park here in San Antonio, a really great little park. Essentially right click on any landmark or any point on Google Maps and you'll get the latitude, longitude coordinates. You can copy those for easy use. I think easiest way to find what you're looking at is to just copy and paste that into, and it'll show you the wide range of the ecoregion that you're looking at. So, you know, if you were to remove this, and I don't want to exit out for the sake of seeing it, but this is the entirety of the northern portion of the Texas Blackland Prairie, which is covering a significant amount of distance. So what we do with that, we prompt it up, add it to briefcase, and prompting it may look a little bit different because I've already added it to what they call their briefcase there. And so we'll get out of this, go to the briefcase. And so now we have these major land resource areas. I've added some other portions because I've looked at other sites previously. So we click into there, and now we're within that ecoregion. So we're on the Texas Blackland Prairie, the northern part. We then jump into the ecological site map from here. So you can get some understanding here if you want to click through some of this information. You can learn more about it that way, but I like to get even more specific so you know what you're looking at, you know, on your property first and foremost. Site map, so you see the northern portion of the Texas Blackland Prairie outlined here. This goes from San Antonio all the way up through Dallas and a bit further north. But if you zoom in here, you can attempt to work with the latitude and longitude coordinates again, but you know, if you know where your house is and everything, working with landmarks and streets and that kind of thing, that might be the best way. I've just kind of found this map to be a little bit wonky. It jumps in and out from being hyper specific at the street level to back looking at the entirety of North America. So helps to know your own landmarks and everything near your own house. So if we look here, if I'm looking at Woodlawn Lake, you know, it has this outlined as the water body. But if I click right at the park here, it's going to show me that this is 95% southern blackland, 5% southern clay loam. For the sake of ease, you know, you can really drink from the fire hose and jump into all of it. You're going to see some ratios of, you know, what kind of portion of the sub ecoregion you might be looking at, but for the sake of convenience here, we'll just click on the southern blackland. You can go through all these key characteristics, you know, this overview of the physiography, the climate, soil features, all that kind of stuff, vegetation dynamics here, and this is usually a more concise explanation, and so I think super helpful. But also, to really get a full-on dive, I'd recommend downloading the full description. And so downloading the full description prompts a PDF to download there. And, you know, for the sake just to show you what we're looking at here, this is a 21-page document, and it can be a bit dense. And so if you want to go very manual in this way, you can go ahead and jump to what would ultimately be, there's a lot of information here, so it kind of depends on where you're at in your understanding of ecology to be able to digest a lot of this information, but I got some suggestions of what to do. You can just fast track, jump into the plant lists, which should be down here after, I think, the soil profiles. But what we have here are listed all what would be, historically the native plants to this very specific site. And these will vary, most certainly, based on a site that's in a different portion of the northern part of the Texas Blackland Prairie than this one, right? In San Antonio versus Fort Worth or Dallas are those different, very large changes in distance. Those are going to have different, plant communities. A good collection of them will be similar, but many of them will be different. And so some of these may be quite foreign to you because they're hyper specific. I've never seen a lot of these plants in nurseries, but in the nurseries in our area that are 99, 100% Texas native plants, I have seen a lot of these before, which is really great. Some I haven't, but that's because they're definitely more rare. But you can start to work with this list here to understand what might be best suited to thrive on your property. And so I see native plants on a bit of a spectrum. There is, the hyper specificity of something like this, very designated to your sub ecoregion on your own site. And then you can kind of expand that out, and think of your house landscape a little bit like an arboretum, as a means to bring some of nature home in a very fun, interesting, and ideally not harmful way. That's why we don't bring invasive plants onto our home landscapes. But this is a great way to learn about plants, I think, from, varying ecoregions that might not be exactly, to your specific niche, but within a bit of a range to where the plant will survive without too much legwork and without too much issue. But you can see this list here. We have grasses, mid-grasses, forbs, shrubs, vines, and shrubs and trees. And so you get, a sense for what kind of things have existed on this property, and as well where you can start thinking about which plants to put on yours. And so this would have fast-tracked me 2 years ago if someone handed me this document first and foremost and was like, take the time to digest this 20 or so pages, because I looked at my own property. It's an 18-page document, still very dense information. It's provided by the USDA and researchers who have spent a lot of time in the technical scientific jargon. But this would have fast-tracked, I think, myself to make better plant decisions right from the get-go. A bonus for you, and it depends on how deep you want to go with this kind of thing, but I have found this to be a bit of an interesting use case for an AI tool, ChatGPT, to where what you can do with this document is actually upload it to ChatGPT, and I have the premium version. I think it's only $20 a month, at least at the time of this recording, and I upload this, and you can essentially have a conversation with ChatGPT about your ecoregion through the PDF document. So let's see, let's upload it and ask it a question. Or let's see, please review the attached PDF document and let me know what are some of the key takeaways for a homeowner considering doing some landscaping work whose home is on the described ecoregion attached PDF. So a little redundant, but for the sake of our time here. So some key takeaways, first we have soil characteristics. So the soils in this region are moderately deep to very deep, richly black in color, have high shrink swell properties due to their clay content. That means the soils dry up, for example, climatic features. It experiences a humid subtropical climate with hot summers and mild winters, which include plants that can tolerate high summer temperatures and variable humidity. Prone to brush encroachment if not properly managed. Balance between grass lines and brush. So some of this is even, a bit jargony, but you can start to take it even further. Can you explain to me the above as if I'm a complete newbie to ecology and so let's see. So this is very helpful. You can get the soil characteristics broken down in a more, elementary fashion. Let's be honest here, not all of us are professional ecologists. And these sorts of explanations might help, to get you a good foundation, again, depending on where you are in your own journey with ecology and understanding the landscapes around you. You can ask it questions. What are the most commonly found trees in this ecoregion? Live oak, cedar elm. And so everything is reading from that attached PDF. So there's a whole rabbit hole that you could go down using something like AI and ChatGPT to talk with this PDF document here, this report, to help fast track your understanding of the ecology of your own site. And so something to play around with there. But all that being said, I really hope that you found this video was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. There will be links to everything mentioned here in the description attached. And of course, if you're interested in getting started with landscaping with native plants, specifically to Texas, check out my free cheat sheet at ensembletexas.com. All right, y'all. Until next time.